Hi, Peter here. In this tutorial, I'll be demonstrating how to schedule and perform compliance assessments using Compliance Master Enterprise. I'll also be demonstrating how to transform a compliance assessment into a continuous improvement plan with just the click of a button. So let's get started. To register a new compliance assessment using Compliance Master, open the Assessments module and click on the Add Assessments button located here in the top right-hand corner of the screen. Next, select the checklist template you want to use to carry out the assessment. To learn more about how to add and design checklist templates, be sure to check out our YouTube tutorial on this subject. Next, select the name of the entity you want to assess. This might be a specific department or section within your organisation or an external third party. Just make sure you've entered their details into the system using the Entities module before you begin creating a new assessment. You also have the option of assigning your assessment a start and end date, and you can also make it reoccurring on a daily, weekly, monthly, or yearly basis. You can also select how long you want the assessment to occur by selecting an end date or how many assessments you want to take place in the series. For this demonstration, I'll just stick to the one assessment which is scheduled to take place on this date. There is also an option to assign the assessment an owner. This will normally be the person responsible for organising or carrying out the assessment. There's also an option to send the owner a reminder email anywhere between 1 to 2 weeks before the assessment is scheduled to start. Finally, rather than creating a compliance assessment from scratch, you also have the option of cloning an existing assessment. This can be a big time saver, particularly when assessing multiple entities that share the same compliance systems and processes, or when assessing an entity that's compliance is unlikely to change significantly from one assessment to the next. For the purposes of this tutorial, I'm just going to create an assessment from scratch, so I'll just go ahead and click the Save and Continue button. And here it is, ready to enter our compliance assessment results. If we return to the Assessments module, we can see a full list of all the compliance assessments registered on the system, including the one I just saved. If I want to find a particular compliance assessment, I can use the search filters located here, or I can just click on the headings on each column to quickly sort and work through their contents. You'll also note that each compliance assessment is assigned a progress status. An open status means it's ready to carry out assessments, but no results have been added into the checklist at this point. In progress means compliance results have started to be entered into the checklist, but at this stage it isn't completed, and closed out means the assessment is closed off and no further changes can be made. To open a compliance assessment, all you have to do is click on its row in the table. The first thing you'll notice is that each assessment is assigned a unique ID number, which makes it easy to differentiate one assessment from another. Under this, you have all the details relating to the assessment, including the entity being assessed, its start and end dates, and the name of the assigned owner. Below this, you have the checklist template selected for this particular assessment. As you can see, when you open the assessment, only the checklist's main section headings are displayed, together with a progress indicator outlining how many compliance requirements sit under this section and how many have been assessed to date. There's also a donut diagram which provides a detailed breakdown of assessment results recorded to date and the percentage of requirements assessed as compliant. There's also a status indicator which denotes whether this section of the checklist has been assessed as compliant or non-compliant. I'll show you how these features work in more detail a little later in this tutorial when I start adding compliance results into the checklist. Finally, there are 2 text boxes where you can add high-level comments regarding your assessment results, and where you might see opportunities for improvement. To expand the checklist for a particular section, just click on the adjacent plus symbol. It's then just a matter of stepping through its specified compliance requirements, carrying out the necessary assessments for each criteria, then selecting the appropriate assessment result, yes, no, or not applicable. If you need help carrying out a compliance assessment for a specific criteria, there's this handy icon you can just hover over with your cursor. This pulls up any pre-configured assessment instructions or guidelines that may have been added to this criteria when it was registered on the system. To add and update this information, you can easily do this via the Criteria module, which is located here. For more information on how to add compliance criteria to Compliance Master Enterprise, make sure you check out our YouTube tutorial, Creating Checklist Templates. Once again, depending on how your checklist template has been designed, you also have the option of adding supporting assessment and improvement notes alongside each assessment result. And most importantly, the ability to attach and add hyperlinks to compliance evidence supporting your assessment result. This might include things like policy and procedure documents, performance reports, survey results, spreadsheets, and photographs alike. Another way to quickly find and enter compliance assessment results into a checklist is to use the inbuilt navigation bar, which is located here on the left. Simply click on the section, requirement, or criteria you're after and the software will automatically take you there. This can also be a great time saver when having to retrieve compliance evidence at short notice for regulators and auditors. You'll notice as you enter compliance results into the checklist, the system keeps track of how many requirements have been assessed for each section, and by insinuation, how many remain. It also provides a real-time breakdown of your assessment results, together with the percentage of requirements assessed as compliant for each section. It also tells you whether each section of the checklist has been assessed as compliant or non-compliant. It's important to remember to save your assessment results as you go. If at any stage you want to close out an assessment, just click on the Close Out button here. When it comes to reporting your compliance assessment results to internal and external parties, you have a number of options. Firstly, you can send a summary or detailed version to a printer. The summary report includes only the checklist's major section headings, comments, and analysed results, whereas the detailed report includes all your assessment results for each section, including any references to supporting compliance evidence. You also have the option of emailing a summary or detailed version of your report to internal and external parties and exporting a copy in PDF format. At the top of the screen, you'll also notice you have the option to display only those sections and requirements of your checklist that have been assessed as non-compliant. This feature is particularly useful if you want to send a report to someone highlighting only those aspects of the entity's compliance that need correction or improvement. Finally, you have the option of transforming your compliance assessment into a continuous improvement plan by clicking this button. Once the plan is added to the system, you can then add corrective actions against each identified non-compliance and manage their progress via the improvements and action management modules, which are located here and here. You can create as many improvement plans for a given compliance assessment as you like and quickly view and manage their progress by clicking on this tab. To learn more about how to create continuous improvement plans and how to add and manage corrective actions, make sure you check out our YouTube tutorial on this subject. This concludes this tutorial on how to add and manage compliance assessments using Compliance Master Enterprise. If you have any questions or queries, be sure to add them in the comments section below or drop us an email at info@compliance-master.com and we'll respond accordingly. If you'd like to receive more information on current and future Compliance Master videos, be sure to click on the subscribe button below. From Peter, see you next time.